Hello. I wanted to come to you today to discuss this topic that I'm seeing everywhere, which is this great resignation. Okay, but I want to talk about that with the angle that a lot of women of color and first, second generation immigrants may be feeling, how this might be different for them. So, the great resignation, if you haven't heard, is this situation that we're in right now where so many people want to leave their jobs. They're ready to leave. They've indicated they're burnt out, they're tired, and they're ready to move into another career. So, I actually have a couple of podcasts coming up, one next week and the one after, discussing this in more depth. And, I'd encourage you to check those out. There are links available in my profile. So the podcast is called Align and Soulful Leadership. Anyway, so one of the things I want to talk about today is if you are feeling like you are ready to change your career, as a woman of color, there might be a couple things that are stopping you beyond the regular. I have to think about my finances. I have to think about how am I going to do it? What do I want to do? Where am I meant to go next, right? Am I really wanting to change careers, or do I need to change my company, or do I need to start my business, or do I have to shift my business? Do I have to shift how I run my business? Do I have to shift my business completely? There are lots of things to consider, right? It's not so simple for a lot of us, especially if you have a long history in your career and you have responsibilities. So if you add to that the layer of the idea that not everything is open to you, okay? When I was growing up, and I had the conditioning that a lot of the things available, a lot of the careers, the businesses, those things that I saw others doing were not open to me. Those were for other people. I am meant to take the safe traditional route, the practical route. I'm meant to take those steps in the direction of where there are people like me, right? And where the doors are open. And so going in and looking at things that there were not people like me doing, or that maybe were not as lucrative financially, or didn't seem as lucrative financially, or that whole idea that you can do anything that you want to do, right? That idea was not something that I grew up with, and a lot of the women that I work with were taught. Their conditioning was, you have limitations because of the world. You are not accepted everywhere, right? And it was really true in many ways, right? In many ways that the doors were not open and it would be a lot harder. So our families taught us this because they wanted life to be easier for us. They wanted us to go in the direction of things that doors that were easier to open, so that we could do the things that they would love for us to do, and we could have the lives and we could have the experiences that maybe they did not have. And so, when you bring that into this idea of a great resignation, I know that a lot of women of color are feeling even more limitations of where they can go, and even whether it's okay for them to change their career, if it's okay for them to think about their purpose and feeling fulfilled or not, right? And so I just want to bring that one piece out today, and, bring it onto the open, that if you are feeling that it's not okay somehow for you to want to change, it's not okay, and that's for other people, it's simply just not true. You have just as much of a right to feel purposeful and fulfilled with how you spend a good amount of your days. And understanding that past conditioning may get in the way of you going in that direction is a first step in breaking that barrier and reconditioning yourself to believe that you can do those things. And there are plenty of role models out there now, right? And so, and there are opportunities, and maybe you're going to create them. Okay, so I want to encourage you that if you're feeling this kind of block, that all these career changes, the world is your oyster, you can do whatever you want, that's for other people, that's for me, that's just not true. Okay, You have the ability to do the things that your heart desires and that you're called to, right? You may need some support, you need mentors. None of us do it alone, right? We all need help and support through the process. Okay? And so if you're further wanting to learn more about this, and you're really wanting to pursue changing your business, your career, even starting a business, then I'm going to encourage you to check out the podcast for longer information. They're a little bit longer. I go into more detail, and I'm excited to share this with you. And I'm, holding highest energy for you to go into your next level. Until next time, take good care. This is Kavita with the Aligned and Soulful Leadership. Bye.